Before we get started, if you are interested in CBD or finding a new CBD supplier, I've partnered with Hopewell Farms, and you can get 10% off this very high quality CBD. I take it every single day. It helps with meditation. It helps with my health in general, and we have 10% off with code Lily10 in the description. Announcing a holiday sale out of this world. All of my workshops and channeled sessions are on sale for $33.33 this week. That includes the DNA activation and connect with your star family, 1 hour workshop followed by a 1 hour channeled session to help you activate your DNA and connect with your star family, discover your star origins, as well as a deep chakra healing with inner earth beings and the violet flame, where we go through and clear and open all of your chakras with the wonderful inner earth beings, and a cord cutting, ancestral healing, and karma clearing session. I also have a brand new psychic development class with a third eye activation to help you activate your psychic gifts and abilities. My DNA activation kits are also on sale. This is a complete kit to help you activate your starseed DNA, unlock your gifts. It comes with 9 channeled sessions from the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lyran, Sirians, subliminal messages to listen to while you sleep so you can activate while you're sleeping, as well as instructional videos, everything that I did to activate my DNA in one complete kit. It is $100 off right now, and there are payment plans available. This program is guaranteed to transform your life. Tonight we welcome SYLVIE Sterling, who is a cat whisperer, Lyran Starseed and Ascension guide. Tonight we'll be talking all about the Lyran extraterrestrials, their connection with humanity, and how our cats are actually incarnated here to assist us on our ascension journey. And many of them are actually incarnated starseeds and extraterrestrials. We will also discuss other animal type extraterrestrials that exist out in the galaxy. Please welcome SYLVIE Sterling. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Starseed Chat. Tonight I have SYLVIE here with me, who is a cat whisperer, a Lyran Starseed and Ascension guide. I met you through Tyler from Journey to Truth podcast actually recommended you to me because I just synchronistically got a kitten. I found a stray kitten it's a Siamese kitten. I've always dreamed of having a Siamese kitten. I wasn't necessarily ready for a pet or expecting a pet yet, but it just kind of happened. And I know that there was a big reason for it. So I had a session with you, and that went amazing. So thank you so much for coming. I'm excited to dive into the Lyrans and cat whispering with you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here too. And about your cat, you do know that cats come into our lives exactly when we need them. So there is no coincidence. They're just synchronicities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then after I got him, I noticed like I had so many signs leading up to that. I've got a air freshener in my car that I got like 4 years ago that has a Siamese cat that looks just like him with like galaxy and space behind it. The lighter that I have on my keys is a Siamese cat with a third eye. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got all of these, things all over the place. And so, yeah, it was just perfect. I agree with you. And I'll share a picture of Kylo at some point in this so that everybody can see my baby. See my buddy. Just enjoying the weather. Hi, baby. Hello, sweet boy. What's you doing? You're so sweet. You're so cute. Sweet boy. I love you. I love you, buddy. But anyways, so how did you, I guess let's go kind of through your background. What do you do and how did you get into this?
So I work with cats and their humans. And basically, in a nutshell, I help starseeds awaken to their true selves with the help of their cats. And I do a whole bunch of other things, but really it turned out I kind of got pushed into that direction. I started out very innocently. Actually, I had a whole different career in the movie industry. I worked in the movie industry for 20 years.
Wow.
And then in my 40s, I had this whole thing about I need to find my purpose. What is my purpose, right?
Mhm.
And then I decided I wanted to work with cats because
Mhm.
it hit me upside the head. Cats were always in my life, and I always loved cats. So I
Mhm.
very innocently wanted to change careers and start working with cats on the side. I became a cat psychologist. I did everything by the book. I studied cat psychology and all read all the books and all the stuff that and I thought it was very innocent in the beginning. I thought I was going to help people, with common cat problems, such as how do you play with a cat? What does the cat want to say when the cat does this? Or where to put the scratch post? Just really innocent stuff, right?
Mhm.
But life just had a way of guiding me into a different direction.
Mhm.
And I started to dabble with energy healing and with animal communication, which was a real game changer.
Mhm.
And then what really put me over the top, or what there was still something missing. It just still felt shallow. There was just something just was still missing. And what really put me over the top was a message that came channeled from my star family, from the Lyrans.
Mm.
And the channeled message came through a cat. So basically, I sat with a cat. I was visiting my sister-in-law, who was very spiritual, and I visited her for 3 days. And then on the last day, I packed my bags, my suitcase, and her cat sat on the bed, and her cat looked at me, and she looked at me, and she looked at me, and I said, I think something wants to come through this cat because she just kept giving me these stares. So
Mm.
I sat down and I tuned in, and this most amazing message came through this little cat. And it turned out it
Mhm.
was my star family reaching out to me, the
Mm.
Lyrans, the lion beings to be exact. I had
Mhm.
never heard of them before. And they gave me this message about, they gave me my assignment basically. They gave me the missing link. And they said that my task was to tell people about cats not being babies or children, to not treat them as babies or children, but as grown-ups and divine beings. And they said to share with people, to talk to people about their purpose and
Mhm.
about how cats come into our lives to help us find our purpose.
Mhm. Wow.
And that it was all about purpose, and that cats were in our lives to help us become our best selves.
Wow.
And a whole bunch of other stuff. And they said that we are closely related to cats. There's more cat DNA in us than any other species, and
Wow.
that they would guide me on my way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I came out of this and I said, "What just happened?" Because I was not prepared for that. And I
Yeah.
Googled and I said, "Oh my God, lion beings are actually a thing. People talk about this." And that
Yeah.
just spiraled this whole thing. And it just became my purpose to share with the world about our purpose and our cat's purpose. And
Wow.
yeah, now I work on this whole different level. I could have never dreamt of that.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Same here. Similar happened with me. I had no idea I would be where I'm at, just a few years ago.
Mm.
Um, so that's crazy. You had no idea about the Lyran beings before
Mm.
that. So did you know about star seeds though?
I hadn't really. I was always fascinated with space, and
Mhm.
I was always when I was a kid, I was fascinated with Star Trek, and I was always look up to the stars, and I always felt different, like so many other star seeds. But I wasn't really familiar with the concept of star seeds and what we're here to do. But it just came as no surprise. So when they said I was a star seed, I was a lion being in a human body, and it just made so much sense to me. It resonated so deeply
Wow.
that, of course, that's why I always felt different, right? That's why I never fit in. That's why I don't understand humans. That's why I turned to
Mhm.
cats, because cats are, um,
Family.
they get me, they understand me, right? When humans didn't understand me. So I Googled, and I had heard of Lyrans before, and I had heard of extraterrestrial races before, but I
Mhm.
never heard of the lion beings
Okay.
specifically. And then I Googled them and said, oh my God, people are talking about this. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just never thought I would become an ambassador and really talk about this stuff and
Yeah.
go public with all of this, right? Because it takes a while for us to go public with this, right?
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. Similar with me, I started seeing these beings And then I started looking up more and I was like, "Oh my god, these are the beings that I'm seeing." I saw a feline being, I saw, like, the Nordic beings, I saw these light blue beings, and so many others are having these experiences. So, yeah, that's just amazing that they came through, so clear for you. So whenever was this like a telepathic message between this cat? Was it just kind of like a download? Did you get to see,
Yes.
like, the Lyrans in your mind or, like, the feline beings?
That's an interesting question. I don't think I
Mhm.
saw them at the time because I had just started with my spiritual awakening, so my clair senses weren't really open yet.
Yeah.
So it was more of a telepathic message coming through,
Mhm.
and I ran and I was smart enough to sit down and write everything down right away so I wouldn't forget. It was more of a telepathic conversation. It came in words. And
Okay.
only later did I actually see them and did I have
Mhm.
this whole, more 5D experience with them.
Right. So that cat, your sister's cat, you said your star family used that cat as a channel. So your
Mhm.
sister's cat isn't necessarily your star family incarnated. They just used her cat as a channel to communicate.
Yes, they did, but actually she is a lion being herself.
Hmm.
So she is the same star family. That's why it was easy for them to come through. And she
Okay.
told me afterwards, she told me she's a lion being and she's a very small, very petite cat. And it was so cute. She said, "I'm this small cat, and people say that I'm so cute." And everybody says, "Oh, she's so cute." But I'm this huge being, really. And sometimes it bothers her that people don't see her for who she is. So
Oh,
she is a lion being herself. That's why it was easy for them to come through her.
wow, that's amazing. Um, I wanted to ask you, I wrote like a few notes real quick about, okay, so the genetics. So you said that humans actually have a lot of feline being genetics. Could
Mhm.
you, I guess, expand on that? Now, are these I guess the feline genetics because the feline beings originate from Lyra. So these kind of original Lyran feline genetics are infused in our DNA, would you say?
Yes. So I'm going to say two things about this. So on a purely physical level, even our scientists here on Earth, they
Mhm.
actually attest that we have 90% of our DNA is identical with the cats on this planet. And very few people, and that's what they said in that channeling, and I didn't know that. And I looked it up and said, "Oh my God, they were right." So we have about 97% of our DNA is identical with the monkeys, with
Mhm.
different. Everybody knows that we're very,
Mhm.
very close to the monkeys. That between 91 and 97 or 98% of our DNA is identical to the monkeys, different
Mhm.
species. But after that, 90% of our DNA is identical with the cats on this earth, really. So
Mhm.
and then after that come the dogs and all kinds of other animals. So
Yeah.
we really scientifically proven our closest relation to after the monkeys is actually the cat.
Wow.
But that being said, yes, they have shared with me that we are seated here from Lyra,
Mhm.
and I know there is many different channelers and a lot of different information out there, and I'm not saying any of it is right or wrong. I
Mhm.
just share what is shared with me.
Mhm.
And they say basically, yes, we do have more Lyran DNA than anybody else's. And we were
Mhm.
seated here a long time ago. And the cats, the big and the small cats, were seated here as a reminder
Mhm.
to remind us of who we truly are.
Mhm. Yeah, interesting. So I was just gonna ask too, it seems like Earth is almost like I don't really wanna use the word zoo, but I'll use the word zoo with all of these different species and even like the praying mantis. There are mantid beings and other types of extraterrestrials. So did they just genetically modify themselves to make small versions of themselves to put on Earth?
Hmm. Well, what I believe happened is, or what was being shared with me, was that humans are not this experiment, but they created the human experience.
Mhm.
And at one point, all the star families, or many of the star families, they gave their DNA into the human blueprint to
Mhm.
basically almost create the perfect being. Everybody gave the best of them into this human race that existed here, but everybody kind of fed their DNA into it to make the divine blueprint, basically the
Yeah.
sublime divine being. And that's why we are so wooed in the universe, because we have everything. We have all the good stuff of everybody, but we also have the bad stuff.
Hmm.
And they fed it all into us so we could overcome whatever differences there are between the races.
Hmm.
They shared with me we are kind of a walking peace treaty.
Hmm.
And when humans get it together, and when we learn to overcome our differences among each other and within us, when we learn to overcome all the differences and all the different facets that we have, then we will contribute to basically peace in the entire galaxy.
Hmm.
That's how they shared it with me. That's why everybody put their DNA into us, to give the
Yeah.
best and the worst into us,
Yeah.
so we could overcome all the differences in this galaxy.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. And that really resonates. And I've gotten messages too about like royal Lyran genetics. That comes up a lot. Even I do star origins readings. Not
Mhm.
every single session does it come up, but a lot of the time there's a royal aspect, possibly even royal incarnations on Earth or in other planets or yeah, star
Mhm.
systems. And there's like a royal aspect to us,
Yes.
specifically with the Lyran too, the Lyran heritage. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yes, absolutely, I agree.
Um, with the planets in Lyra, it, so I've seen the feline beings, and I have a connection with them too. I've had memories come up of being on Lyra during the attack from the reptilians, and this is very very long time ago. But I've also had memories come up of being a light blue being, I believe, on from Vega. So, do you ever come across that too, like the kind of different types of planets in Lyra?
Yes, with some of my, I also do regressions with clients. I work
Mhm,
with clients and with cats, but when I do sessions with people, we do travel a lot around the cosmos to see where they come from.
mhm,
Usually, a lot of people also show me Vega, and there are winged beings. There are the avians.
mm,
So there are planets in the Lyra system that are not feline, where the avians actually, or the angelics, seem to come from more of the Vega
mhm,
aspect
mm,
of Lyra, whereas there are other planets that are more feline.
mhm.
I don't always get the um, the names of the planets, but
Right.
they have different tonalities, they have different vibrations, some are higher
Mhm,
than others.
mhm,
And yes, absolutely. So there are different planets and different, there are lion beings, there are cheetah beings, there are panther beings, there are feline beings. Some are more humanoid, some are more cat-like,
mhm.
and there's so many hybrids, so many in betweens.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's beautiful. I was gonna ask you about that also, if there were like cheetah, panther, and all these tiger, white tiger, different types of beings.
yes.
So I guess for anybody, or did you want to say something? Were you about to add something?
Well, about the lion beings specifically, those seem to be, and I'm not, putting any value judgment on it, but you mentioned the royal lines,
Mhm.
and the lion beings seem to be the royal lines. There's the white lion beings, and the some people see the white lion beings in their dreams or coming to them. Then
I've
there's
seen
the
them.
golden lion beings. I'm one of the golden lion beings.
Mm.
But they seem to be the more royal ones or the oldest ones. And they said that they created all the other races. So there's all kinds of hybrids and cats and felines, but the lion beings seem to be the most ancient ones,
Yeah,
from my understanding.
that's fascinating. I have the first feline being I ever saw was a white lion being.
Mhm.
Saw it psychically. In this being told me that they were from Sirius, though. So I
Yes.
wanted to also ask you about that. I know kind of like the galactic history, but for anybody who doesn't know, could you share a little bit about what happened with Lyra and how feline beings just kind of spread out?
Mhm. So you did mention the war when
Mhm.
the Lyra system got invaded by, you all mentioned it. I don't really like to talk about all these
Yeah.
war things and everything, but they got invaded.
Mhm.
And yes, I remember too. I remember that many fled to other, many got killed, obviously, but some fled. I remember um, helping hold up a portal, and some fled through wormholes into other dimensions, into other systems. But a lot of them actually just fled on ships or any other form, and they went to the Sirius system. Many feline races went to the Sirius system. There's many different felines all over the Sirius system. Many went to the Pleiades.
Mhm.
Some went to Orion. Some went to other systems. So there was a
Mhm.
big exodus, and
Yeah.
that is why you find feline races, feline nations, basically all over this galaxy. But a lot of them actually went to Sirius. A lot of my clients, when we do regressions, they show me the Sirius system.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be a big common one, where they went. So if anybody watching has an experience with a feline being, it originally Lyran, and you could have had lifetimes in Lyra as well. I find a lot of people who are drawn to me have lifetimes in Lyra because I've had lifetimes in Lyra, but these beings can also be from the star Sirius or other places as well. I wanted to ask you real quick. So going back to like the different types of animals, have you discovered other types of animals that have extraterrestrial origin, like horses, for example, or
Yes.
dogs?
Yes, yes. Horses actually a lot. They seem to be coming from, they always say Arcturus, and I know the Arcturians are a whole other nation. They are more humanoid. The Arcturians that people experience and they talk to, and they also help here on Earth with the ascension system, with the ascension process. But that being said, there are extraterrestrials that are horse-like. And
Interesting.
a lot of star seeds that I've worked with are actually these horse-like, for lack of a better word, but these horse-like souls. And
Mhm.
and yes, they're hybrids. They're like horses. They're like hybrids. There are different versions too, but there are many people who are actually horse beings
Wow.
on a
So
soul
would they
level.
have you seen
Yeah.
them before? Do they look like centaur-like
Yes.
or okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
think that's the best way to describe them. Yes, they're centaur-like, and they're very loyal. They're very down to earth. So there's characteristics, right? They're
Mhm.
very loyal. Usually, they're very down to earth. They have this mentality that they're very stable people. They actually have the mentality of horses. They're very loyal, very stable, very conscientious, and everything.
Yeah.
And then there's others, and I find there's very little talk about them in the community. I call them the swan beings. I don't
Hmm.
know if you've ever encountered them.
Mm-mm.
I see when I go on a soul level with these people, they look like swans.
Wow.
And these are the people that are very creative. They usually they dabble with the fine arts. They are painters, they are sculptors, they're musicians. They are very, very creative, and they're into the fine arts and to the good stuff, right? Into all the creative and the good stuff, like painting and cooking and pottery
Mhm.
and these things. And there is many of them. And I was told recently that in the Baltic countries or in Russia, there are many people who actually talk about the swan beings. I did not know that until recently. And
Wow.
they have many sculptures about swans, and swans seem to be a big thing in Russia and in some of the Baltic states, which was
Mhm.
new to me. Somebody shared it with me recently because he has seen the swan beings as well.
Very interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen them before. So do you think there are probably a lot of swan being star seeds in that area in Russia?
Yes, yes.
That's
I've
fascinating.
seen in other parts of Europe too. I'm from Europe, so I've worked with Europeans a lot, and a lot
Mhm.
of them actually were swan beings.
Wow. So fascinating. And I had heard before somewhere about horse being there being a horse
Mm,
type race or type being
yeah.
from Arcturus as well. So that's just super fascinating. What about, does anything come up about dogs?
I have not worked with a lot of people that are dog beings, but
Mhm.
from what I know, they're from the Orion. They're based somewhere in the Orion region,
Mhm.
and yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And that being said, dogs and cats, there's a lot of dogs and cats, I mean animals now on this planet, that are star seeds as well. And they come from there. Their souls come from the stars. They come from Lyra, they come from Sirius system, they come
Mhm.
from Orion system. Just like human souls or people who are incarnated into human
Mhm.
body, a lot of cats, dogs, and horses are actually star seeds as well.
Wow. Have you come across a cat that wasn't a starseed that you're
Yes,
aware of?
yes,
Okay.
yes. They are more the cat-like cats, the down-to-earth cats, the ones that
Mhm.
eat and sleep and play, and that they're very grounded and very down to earth. So there are cats, dogs that are just, let's say, earth seeds,
Yeah.
and they're very grounded and they're very content and they're very well, they know who they are, right? And then
Mhm.
there's the starseed cats and dogs, and they are just like us. They are here. Some of them say, "I don't know what I'm doing here." They have the higher tasks to
Yeah.
awaken people, to help with the awakening, to elevate the frequencies on these planets,
Yeah.
on this planet here.
That's amazing. And that just reminded me, my cat Kylo, he's definitely not always grounded. So that makes sense. He can get pretty hyper and likes to explore and talkative. And um, you said he was a pretty high vibrational cat. You said he was top 5 or top 10
Mhm,
highest frequency cats they've done a session with. And that was just amazing to hear.
mhm,
Um, I wanted to mention one other thing about him. Okay, so going back to the star seeds getting starseed cats or pets coming in. So probably most of the starseeds watching this, there's a good chance if they synchronistically, you know, acquire a cat, adopt a cat, that it's here to help them on their mission, but it may also be a starseed soul as well.
yes. And the starseed cats come to us specifically to attune us to our starseed family frequency, to awaken us to our mission. The people who are not awake yet, who don't know yet that they are a starseed. I find a lot of these starseed cats come to them to attune them, to open them, and they usually they display weird behavior. So people start to look into, why is my cat behaving weird? Why is my cat, doing all these weird things? And they start to look into weird cat behavior and really what the cat is doing. The cat awakens them to their mission because they have to start and dig. And there's a, what's going on? Why is my cat different? Right. And then they
Mhm.
start to research and they come to people like me, or they just find other stuff on the internet, or they go to other, animal communicators. A
Mhm.
lot of them are opening up to the higher messages from the animals,
Yeah.
and so they always come to us. They to awaken us to our starseedness and to our starseed mission.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to go into next. Like, what types of things does a cat coming in um, assist with? So you said it can assist you with attuning your frequency,
Mhm.
helping you to connect with the frequency of your star family. I got the feeling that my cat Kylo helps me a lot in the astral realm as
Yeah.
well, and probably healing as well. Um,
Mhm.
during
Yeah.
or go
Mhm.
ahead. Were you gonna add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So he helps hold the energies around you. He always
Mhm,
holds the energies around you when you do these, your podcasts, your videos. He's
mhm,
there to help channel the energies from your starseed family, but also he holds the energies around you. He's very much fine tuner of energies.
mhm,
And some cats are natural energy workers. They do that. Some cats are attuners to the higher frequencies.
mhm,
They literally have a super high frequency and they act as our tuning forks. Just like a tuning fork, right? We go, we create a sound, and then
mhm,
the other tuning fork adjusts to that sound. And that's what the cats do, or the star set seed cats specifically. They
mhm,
attune us to their higher frequency. But I've also had, let's say somebody's supposed to be a healer. She, let's say she hasn't really fully grown into that yet, or she doesn't know that she's supposed to be a healer and that's her mission really. Then the chances are that she gets a cat that, and I'm just saying she now, it doesn't matter mean which gender, but a lot of my clients are women.
Mhm.
So, and then she might come across a cat, or she will come across a cat that needs healing, a cat that has all kinds of issues, all kinds of medical things maybe that are going on, all kinds of symptoms. And then that person is forced to, and the person goes to the vet, and the vet can't help them, and then that person is forced to dabble with the healing arts and to read up, what can I do to heal my cat? And then that person finds the
Mhm.
healing arts, basically through trying to heal their cat. She finds out that she's a natural healer, and she starts to go into the healing arts,
Wow.
and goes on her path, basically unfolds her path as a healer. And
Mhm.
that's how some cats help us step
Mhm.
into our power, and step onto our path that's meant for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Similar to my cat Kylo, he had a lot of digestive issues. Uh, very, very bad digestive issues. It was very stressful for a couple of months. I finally found a food that he can eat, and it it doesn't really upset his stomach. But there was 2 months of that, and it really pushed me to, and I took him to the vet multiple times. It really
Mhm,
pushed me to start doing. I do energy work on myself and others through the live activations and meditations I do, but it
mhm,
forced me to like explore healing my cat too, and working
mhm,
with my cat on a more spiritual and energetic level. And now we're good. And I really do think he complements me a lot. And whenever I do the live activations, meditations with singing bowls, he usually sleeps. He'll go
mhm,
in the other side of the wall, right outside the room, and sleep right up against that wall close by. So I
mhm.
just wanted to add that.
Absolutely, yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, some cats are just such beautiful energy workers and healers, and they're so powerful. You wouldn't think, because they're these small animals, but really,
Mhm,
when you see them in their true form, they are huge, and they're
mhm.
huge channelers of energy.
So do you think these other, like, true forms, of these animals are hanging out nearby, like, at all times, or, like, kind of like guides? What do you kinda, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mhm, mhm. So, they are. I mean, the ones that are incarnated, obviously, they hang out around us all the time. So they are our guides, basically in flesh form,
Mhm,
in actual physical form. But there are also other. Your spirit team might actually consist of, cats or feline beings. If you're Lyran, then chances are that you also have other feline beings in your spirit form.
mhm,
Um, I also know that cats, when they cross over, and there were a lot of cats and dogs that crossed over in the last few years, actually. Sometimes there's this wave of departure, and you hear about people losing their cats and their dogs, and it's, oh my God, what's going on? And what they shared with me is that they have to cross over in larger numbers because of what's going on Earth right now, the ascension process. And they say they are stronger on the other side because they're bigger. They're not confined by this small cat or
mhm,
dog body. They're bigger on the other side.
mhm,
And they help us on the other side. So a lot of times when a cat crosses over, they stay with their person on the other side, and they basically build bridges to they bring in the other dimensions, and they help attune their person from the other side of the veil. So yes, there are a lot of them around us humans and around
mhm.
Earth right now.
That's beautiful. I wanted to share a personal story. The session that I had with you, I knew that Kylo, my cat, I sensed he was Syrian. And then whenever I had the session with you, you also discovered that he was Arcturian, which kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not Arcturian. I love working with the Arcturians, though. Um, I have a lot of Arcturian guides, and that just kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting that. And a couple days later, I was doing something and I looked over at him and he looked at me and I saw for a second Arcturian eyes over his eyes. And I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, like he was showing me his form. And then, and so I've seen in meditation or going to sleep, I receive a lot of visions. I've seen, these other aspects of him. You said he also came through as a big blue lion and as an Arcturian. Uh, and just this morning, I think in preparation for this interview, knowing that we were going to be talking about this, he slept with me, and I woke up and I saw a third eye on him with my eyes open. I saw a third eye on him, and I heard telepathically in my head, he sees aliens. He's seeing the aliens. And I had other like ETs around me that I guess we were working with. One of them was a blue avian in the astral. So I just thought that was pretty crazy, and I wanted to share that.
That's pretty, yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, the Arcturians, when I see an Arcturian starseed or a cat or person, they have this amazing third eye, and it's like a bluish green, just what you described. The
Wow.
Arcturians have this amazing third eye, and they are very telepathic. So and
I love them.
yes.
I
And
love
these are
them.
great cats. Whenever I work with an Arcturian cat, they're usually very highly evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I wonder why. So I'm Pleiadian, Lyran, Syrian, Andromedan. I don't have Arcturian, so I wonder why. I'm kind of getting the answer as I'm asking you this, but why an Arcturian cat would come in. I think we complement each other. What do you feel about that?
Mhm. I feel there's a hidden aspect in you that has to do with the Arcturians, and he is attuning you to that. Not saying
Okay.
you are Arcturian, but you might have a hidden aspect in you. Maybe you had a life there or something, and then you did something important. He is
Mhm.
bringing the Arcturian energy for you. And maybe he's just opening you up more to telepathy because they're so highly telepathic. They're
Mhm.
also great healers.
Yeah.
So maybe he's helping you strengthen your healing aspect. The Arcturians are super great healers.
Yeah.
You probably know that. So I
Yeah.
feel he's bringing out your Arcturian aspect for whatever reason.
Okay, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. Um, so going back to like the feline beings, um, the avatar beings
Mhm,
that from the Avatar movie. So you said you've seen these beings
mhm,
before. Can you share? I've seen them once too, but can you share about that?
mhm. I've had several encounters with clients when I did sessions with clients, and they just went straight to the Sirius system, and we met these blue beings. They look almost like the ones in the movie,
Mhm.
and they are definitely feline.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of people who have ties with them. So I've had it more than once that a person just went straight there, and these people almost started crying. I said, do you know the movie Avatar? And they said, oh my god, I always felt so touched by this movie. Every time I see the movie I cry. And that's because they are actually related to these beings. So as far as I know, they exist. As far
Mhm.
as I know, I heard something different recently, but as far as I know, they're planet is in the Sirius system or just beyond the Sirius system, somewhere in that vicinity.
Mhm.
They are called, in the movie, they call them Navi.
Mhm.
I heard their name more like Nari with an R, the
Mhm.
guttural R, Nari. And they're very feline, and they're very highly evolved, and they help people here on earth as well. If you have somebody has ties with them, they will come
Mhm.
in and they will work with you, they will attune you, and they will help you through your awakening and ascension process.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I went to a conference, a spiritual conference last October in Orlando, Florida. And a group of us went to the Animal Kingdom Disney afterwards, and we went through the Avatar. There's like a whole Avatar section. And there were people, some people in the group were literally like emotional and
Mhm.
crying because it just resonated so deeply.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Um, it's not a coincidence. These movies are, and I've worked in the movie industry, so it's just something I still know that these movies were the Avatar movies were the Avatar movie was the highest grossing movie of all time for a very long time.
Wow.
Then the second one came about, and I'm not so up to date with the numbers anymore. But that being said, these Avatar movies are among the highest grossing movies of all time worldwide. And I strongly believe that James Cameron, the director and producer of the movie, I think that he downloaded the idea. I'm not sure he knows that these are actually beings that exist, but
Mhm.
I do think that he got a download. He got this idea. He wrote it down. He said, "Oh my God, I got to make this movie," because they wanted to open us up to that
Mhm.
idea, right? I mean, and millions of people open up to say, yeah, these are blue beings. They look like cats. They don't look like us, but oh my God, they're great, right? So
Yeah.
it was supposed to attune us, to open us up, to unlock our Lyran feline DNA of all
Mhm.
people, because we all have feline DNA. So I strongly believe that this is the purpose of the movie, and that is why it touched so many people, because so many
Mhm.
people felt without knowing it, but there's this truth and there's this remembrance that this is who we are. We are beings like that,
Mhm.
right? And
That's
yeah, I
beautiful.
just think it's beautiful how they remind us and how they make these movies, how people get the downloads to make these movies to open us up to our cosmic
Right.
origins.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you said that you actually went, I guess, astrally to that planet, and it looked
Yeah.
similar to how it does in the movie.
It looked very similar, minus the destruction and the war and all the humans that arrived there. It looked very, very similar. It was very a lot of vegetation there, very green, very serene.
Mhm.
Yeah, it felt really beautiful.
That's amazing. So if anybody watching this right now feels called to them, you can try and reach out to these beings, I'm sure. And if you really resonate with that movie, maybe may have a guide, or you may have a life time in this place, so you could meditate on that and see what happens. Awesome.
And a funny story, just real quick, because
Mhm.
the way I found them was one day in my meditation, these blue felines showed up, and I didn't think anything of them. They were just feline beings, and they came in my
Mhm.
meditation, and they said, "We see you."
Mm.
And they looked straight at me and they said, "We see you." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I didn't even make the connection with the movie.
Mhm.
They came in meditation, they said, "We see you." And it was intense, but okay, I'm fine. I mean, I've seen a lot of other species, right, in my meditations. And then I think 3 days later, I happened to flip through the TV, and the movie came on, and the scene came on where he says, "I see you," or she says, "I see you." I said, "Oh my God, they came into my meditation." And it was one of these synchronicities, because I hadn't seen the movie in 5, 10 years or something. And 3 days after that meditation, the movie came on, and it's a 3 hour movie. And the one scene came on where they say, "I see you."
Wow. That just gave me, like, whole body chills.
Mhm.
I felt that in my bones. That's pretty amazing. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Almost got me a little emotional. Um, so okay, so we kinda talked about cats as spirit guides. What are there any messages? I'm sure there are tons and tons of messages, but is there anything that kinda sticks out that the Lyrans have shared with you through, through this channel that kinda sticks out that you would like to share with humanity?
Yeah, you mean through the original channel, or
Through either, like,
anything
their
after that?
meditation, through you as a
Mhm.
channel, or through cat sessions,
Mhm.
the cats.
So, so my part in this ascension process is I'm to go out there and tell people how cats are not just cats. Cats are divine beings. Cats are super intelligent. Cats are here really to help us awaken to our true self. So for me, a cat has never been a cat since, and I'm just, when I work with somebody, or I just put the message out there, your cat is a divine being, your cat is a star seed, your cat is there for you, and your cat has this beautiful purpose to help you with your purpose and
Mm,
to remind you who you truly are.
mhm.
So
That's
that's my main message that I put out there, and I believe that's my mission, what I'm supposed
mhm,
to share with the world. Um, Another message, and I just wanted to say that real quick because they reiterated that lately. They always say, tell people that cats come in all shapes, forms, and sizes.
mhm,
And they put that out there because when people find out they're a star seed, then they go find out, who am I? and they expect to see themselves, or they expect to see their star families as humanoid, right? And
Mhm.
then when these animal like or hybrid star races show up, right? These swan beings or dog beings or cat beings or
The horse
horse
being.
beings, right? And sometimes people say, that's weird. I didn't expect that. I thought I would be this tall blue Pleiadian being or something. So they always say cats, tell people that cats come in all shapes, forms, and sizes,
Mhm.
and to not be afraid to when somebody comes in that you don't expect to see in that form. So cats come in all shapes, forms, and sizes, and I love that
Mhm.
saying.
Beautiful, beautiful. There was just something that I wanted to ask you. Let me see if it can about the messages. Oh man, I think I lost it. I think I lost it. Well, I was going to oh, okay, so I wanted to ask you about animal communication. That was one of the things I wanted to ask you about.
Mhm.
You teach people how to how to communicate with their animals, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I do.
Could um could you tell us a little bit more about that or give any kind of tips?
Hmm. So a lot of people, there's a lot of it gets bigger and bigger, and I love that people are so much more open to animal communication, that it actually exists, that it actually works, and that anybody, I always say everybody can do it. There's a lot of people say, I could never do that. I
Mhm.
tried it. I don't know how to do it, but anybody can do it. It's really just if you know how to meditate and if you know how to call in your spirit guides, then you can talk to animals. It's really very, I make things simple. I make things very simple. I teach a very simple method of going to meditation and open up a virtual screen. You call your cat in, and anybody can do it. So it's very, very easy. The veils are thinning. People are opening up their clear senses. So it's just easier than it's ever been before for people to connect. And what's important to know is that it's a communication, it's a telepathic communication. And the animals communicate in pictures, not only in words. You get the information as pictures, as images, as feelings, as
Mhm.
some people just know what was being shared without ever hearing words. So don't expect to hear whole sentences. Just be open to whatever comes in. Some animals communicate through pictures. Some
Mhm.
people, their strong sense is to see images. So they will see the cat shows them something and doesn't have to come in through a conversation. That's always important to say because people expect it like a conversation, but it's really more like a meditation where you have all your senses involved, right? You
Mhm.
hear things, you know things, you feel things, you see pictures, and that's exactly what animal communication is like.
Beautiful. I love that, and I agree 100%. I love teaching, psychic abilities and working on psychic abilities, and it can come in all different sorts of ways, so just honor how it comes, and if you sit down and set that intention and really hold the space to communicate, with your animal, something's gonna happen. You just have to be open
Absolutely.
to how it comes through.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure
And that,
practice helps.
yeah, and that being said, the interesting thing, or what a lot of people don't know, the animals that understand everything we say. Just I don't know, when you talk to your cat in your normal voice, the way you and I talk now, they understand everything we say.
Wow.
So really, what we call animal communication is for us, because the cats don't need animal communication. They understand everything we say. It's
Yeah.
just we don't hear them back. So we need that telepathic communication to hear them back. But you can go for anybody who hears this, go to your cat, your dog, your horse, or
Mhm.
whatever animal you have, talk to them in your normal voice. Don't baby them. Don't belittle them. They're grown unless you have a kitten or a puppy, right? But they understand everything that you say. So
That
just want
that's
to put
beautiful.
that out there.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. So I wanted to ask you about so our cats and pets, they have chakras and energy centers too. In your
Mhm.
sessions or through like your animals, have you ever found that maybe there was an imbalance or something that shouldn't have been there, may have gotten stuck in these chakras, or maybe there's an imbalance and your cat starts acting weird? Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. They have all the imbalances that we have. They have the chakra system we have. They have all the imbalances. They have all the stuck emotions or topics or karma. They have karmic imprints. They have childhood imprints, just like we have. They have emotional issues, the emotions stuck in their body. They have closed throat chakra, all the stuff. They have a closed heart chakra sometimes when bad things happen to them. So they have
Mm,
all the issues that we have.
mhm,
But that being said, they come to us with these issues because usually they're helping us work through our issues. So
mhm,
if a person has a closed heart chakra because they got hurt too many times, then likelihood is that they get a cat or a dog into their lives that has a similar issue, that they got hurt too many times emotionally. They kind of shut down. They don't let anybody touch them. They don't let anybody
mhm,
get close to them. And what happens is that they teach that person patience, they teach that person love, they teach that person trust, or it's more of a joint learning
mhm,
experience for them. Because as you get your cat to trust you, as you get your cat to, as you're working with the cat, that see it's okay, I can touch you, I'm not doing anything, you can learn trust yourself. You can
mhm,
learn to trust the universe more, to trust people more. So
mhm,
they a lot of times they come with the same issues, topics, life topics, unresolved emotional stuff that we have. They mirror us. They come with the
mhm,
same stuff, so we can recognize ourselves in them
mhm.
and overcome our own issues and topics. And as we learn, as we teach our cat, you can trust me, they teach us we can trust the universe or
Wow.
whoever else it is that we don't trust.
I love that. And I was like laughing because Kylo definitely has taught me patience.
Mhm.
I've really had to learn patience and learning how to carry my energy and caring for, another being unconditionally, even if he does
Mhm.
something that's kind of naughty and you know things like that, and learning how to make him happy so that he doesn't ever or doesn't act out as much. But cats will also be cats. So that's really beautiful, and I have heard that our animals can take on some of our burden, some of our energy. So if you have issues with the heart or throat, then you're or anxiety or bad fears or whatever, your cat or your animal can hold on to that for you, and it can
Yes.
make them sick even, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, sometimes they do it on purpose because they want to help us carry our burden. If it's a burden for us, they help us carry our burden. I mean,
Mhm.
I've worked with a dog who took on cancer from their person.
Wow.
The dog had cancer, and turned out that the person had cancer, but the dog developed it first, so that the person would kind of get, the person would find out that they have cancer too because they saw the symptoms in the dog. So
Wow.
a lot of times they take stuff from us because they help us carry our baggage, our emotional
Mhm.
baggage. And a lot of times it rubs off on them because they're empaths just like we are.
Mhm.
But in any case, they are here to, again, to hold a mirror in front of us to say, hey, I have anxiety, but you have anxiety. Or
Mhm.
if you have a lot of times when during COVID, when COVID first happened, a lot of people, I had an influx of clients. People said, "Oh my God, my cat's acting up. Oh my God, my cat is restless. My cat
Yeah.
can't handle me being home. My cat needs so much attention. My cat always walks in front of the computer when I do my Zoom calls." And then I worked with the cat, and the cat said, "It's you. My person is the one that's restless. The person was the one that felt pent up at home and couldn't go out. So the person was restless, and the cat was mirroring the restlessness.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or the cats or the dogs, they would walk. The cat would walk in front of the computer screen during the Zoom
Mhm.
calls,
Wow.
and the president said, "Oh my God, but I have a business meeting." And then I said, so, and I had one funny story. I got to tell the story. I had one client who said her cat would always sit in front of the camera, block the camera. So her
Mhm.
co-workers couldn't see her because the cat would block the camera. And that was bothersome. And then I asked the lady, I said, "How do you feel in front of the camera?" And the
Mhm.
lady said, "Oh my God, I hate being on camera." And then she
Wow.
saw the girl, and her cat was doing her favor. The cat was blocking the camera because the person felt so uncomfortable being on camera. So the cat
Wow.
was really trying to help. Um,
That's
so yes,
amazing.
if you have a cat that is pacing or restless or unhappy or meowing, look into yourself. Where are you restless? Where are you not
Mhm.
happy? Where are you, where do you feel um, restless or whatever your cat is emulating? Look into
Mhm.
yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So everything that your cat does or pet too is there's a reason for it. So I would like kind of look into it deeper and find the correlation.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
great tip. So I
I
wanted
have
to ask you uh, about a different topic. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share on that?
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, a cat never does anything out of spite. Some people think that cat out of protest they destroy stuff or pee any somewhere or something. I have
Mhm.
never, and I've spoken to literally thousands of cats in the last
Wow.
6, 7, 8 years.
Mhm.
Ever since I've been doing this work, a cat or a dog, they never do anything out of spite.
Mhm.
There's always a reason. If your cat acts up, if your cat destroys stuff, if your cat, scratches you, bites you, there's always a reason. They always want to, it's the only way they can communicate, alert you, it's always a
Mhm.
cry for help. Always a reason. They never do anything. Out of spite. I've never talked to a mean cat who said, I just want to be mean or something, There's
Yeah.
always a reason. Always look into yourself first. If your cat
Mhm.
does something, look into yourself. What's going on in my life right now?
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And that's also a lot of what Kylo is teaching me to really dig into that a whole lot deeper. Um, so I wanted to kind of switch topics. I heard you talking about this on Journey to Truth podcast on your interview with them. Some you shared some messages about that you've gotten from the Galactic Federation about kind of like what's going on right now and kind of like the timelines. I know like timelines they can shift and all that, but
Mhm.
you mentioned the year 2025. That year has stuck out to me so much, and I know what I feel is a lot, and what I'm getting big shifts are going to happen 2025. um, so can you share a little bit about kind of like what your experience is with that and what your perception
Mhm.
of that is?
Yeah, as you said, timelines are always tricky because timelines can shift and change, and it's
Mhm.
all always the collective that actually creates a timeline or carries a timeline. But and they are not as hung up on time as we are because they
Right.
exist, a whole different. The Galactic Federation really doesn't look at this is the year of so and so. But that being
Mhm.
said, um, we are in the middle of these. We're in the middle of these changes. So what they shared with me, by the end of 24, the biggest changes in society, in everything, in how humanity is operating, the biggest changes are supposed to happen by the end of 24, and then after 25, 26, we're supposed to go into smoother sailing, basically, and the higher timelines will be opening up for
Mhm.
humanity. And they said it was going to be a transition period
Mhm.
between 25 and 2030. They described it to me as a transition period where the
Mhm.
biggest structural changes, or the biggest shakeups, let's say the biggest shakeup of everything that what we're seeing right now, right? Everything's being shaken up, all aspects of a society.
Mhm.
So that's supposed to have, be over by 24, 25. And then it's going to be a transition period where the new structures will be built, and
Mhm.
it's going to happen. They say they are helping us that it will happen gradually. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a window of 5, 6, 7, 8 years
Mhm.
where the changes are going to be implemented, new systems are going to be put in place. And then by 2030, they're kind of showing me is where the golden age is starting, where we really supposed to be going back into the golden age,
Mhm.
where we live in a new society and we live with new structures. So these
Wow.
after 25 is transition period.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. That really aligns with what I've gotten and what I feel too. In the beginning, as I was, first meeting my star family and discovering I was a star seed, like these UFOs were showing up. That's how my awakening happened. I started seeing all these UFOs, and then they started communicating with me. And I asked one of my star family, I was like, when can we be like face to face? When are you going to be boots on the ground on Earth? And the response I got, and this was like a year or two ago, so things may change, but the response I got was the 2030s. So that
Mhm.
makes sense with what you're saying, that by 2030, that should be the golden age. And then that's also the time period that I got when ETs can openly be on the ground with us, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for one, because humanity wouldn't be ready before that,
Right.
before everybody actually goes into the new way of being, into a higher form of consciousness, people wouldn't be ready right now, still. And the other thing is that the vibration is not high enough yet on Earth. That's the other reason that I heard why they cannot openly show themselves, because we could not handle their vibration.
Yeah.
So we
Definitely.
need to increase our vibration as a whole, as a collective, on Earth, basically. And Earth is also raising her vibration. So yeah, 2030 is about, or past, way a little past 2030 is also what I heard about open landings, showings, and open interaction.
That's amazing. That's not very long. That's not very
I know,
far.
right?
It's happening very quickly. And yeah, we're about to start 2024. I do feel like there's going to be so many changes that happen. Probably a lot of chaos as, the old systems are getting shaken up and all of that. But man, just hang in there till 2025, 2026. We'll be implementing,
Mhm.
integrating, raising the frequency. It'll be smooth sailing after that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Let me see if there was anything else. I think that was about it. If you have any other messages for the audience, and then after that, can you share a little bit about what you've got going on, where people can find you, and all of that fun stuff?
Mm-hmm. So, my main message really is, your cat is your guide. Listen to your cat. If you have a cat, there is a reason. Your cat has a beautiful purpose with you.
Mm.
Find out what your cat's purpose is, because only then can you really harness the full power of your cat. When you know what your cat is doing for you, they're just waiting for you to reach out to them. They are there, they're waiting for you. If you know how to meditate, I mean, you can come see me and take an animal communication class, of course, or go see somebody else and do an animal communication class. But if you know how to meditate, call in your cat during meditations, and just connect to your cat the way you connect to your spirit guides, and you might just get your answers there. And ask your cat what your cat is doing for you, and
Mhm.
that will be the key. And a lot of times that's the key to your own, it's your secret key to really, a lot of people are, they're still missing something. They say, I still don't know, am I supposed to be doing this, am I on the right path? And a lot of times their cat is actually the secret key. So
Mhm.
find out what your cat is doing for you and what your cat is in your life for, and
Mhm.
that will actually help you on your spiritual path, on your soul path, and whatever
Mhm.
endeavors you're out there to do.
That's beautiful. Yeah, there's
And
there's a lot of people who they want to know what their purpose is. They're wondering what their purpose
mhm,
is. So connecting with your cat is a good way to discover that.
yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
And my project, what I'm working on right now, is my
Mhm.
second book is
Oh,
supposed to come out in spring. I don't have a set date yet, but I'm working on my second book. It was completely channeled by the cats.
wow.
I've been wanting to write this book for 7 years, and it just wasn't. I had the idea 7 years ago. It wasn't flowing. It wasn't coming about. I tried. I put it back on the back burner. I started to write again. I scratched everything out, and it just wasn't flowing. And then um, 2 months ago in September 23, I gave up. I said, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be writing this book. I completely give up. I give it up to the universe. If this book is supposed to come about, then tell me how, because I don't know. And
Mhm.
what happened a couple of days later, I sat down, I put my hands on the keyboard, and it started to flow through me. And the Cat Collective channeled the entire book within 4 weeks. Um, and it was a beautiful experience. And it's all about cats and the ascension and purpose and how they help us. And also higher messages from my star family came through. And so
Wow.
that's my project right now. And I'm very excited to share that with the world.
That is amazing. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And you said you have another book. What is your other book?
My other book is called Your Cat is Your Guide. It's back here.
Okay.
Your cat is your guide, and that's about how the main steps how your cat helps you with your spiritual awakening. It
Okay.
talks about also your cat is in your life for a reason, what your cat behavior means,
Mhm.
and what your cat basically what your cat wants you to do. I call it the first self-help book for
Mm.
humans commissioned by the cats.
Eh, I love that. Awesome. Well, I'll have all of those, the link for that in the video description and your website and all of that information in the video description if anybody would like to check that out. So thank you so much, Sylvie, for coming on. It was wonderful speaking with you. And everybody, leave a comment if you have any questions for Sylvie. Feel free to leave comments like that. Oh, and like this video, and everybody have a good night.
Cool.
Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment, and don't forget I have a holiday sale going on where all of my sessions and workshops are $33.33. The DNA activation kits are $100 off, and all merch is 20% off right now. I hope you guys enjoy your night, and I'll see you later, Star Brothers and Sisters.